viewers out there watching this now what it's like for you living with autism.
It's like a jet engine in my ear, so like everything is amplified. People wouldn't choose to stand next to a jet engine while it's on, and there is no off switch. So by simply saying, oh, you have to deal with it, or oh, I find it fine, like I don't see what your problem is, there is no off. So those things are somewhat insulting at times. So so it's like just everything is bigger and louder and brighter, and yeah.
What's your coping mechanism for that?
Fidgeting and moving and finding ways to use that colour in how I appear, like colour coding things or drawing with drawing at times.
And what have been some of the biggest challenges for you living with autism?
Being a special ed teacher, I sort of systemically have noticed that people who have that label of autism or autistic Asperger's or even any disability, we're put in a box and we are all autistic. However, we're not all the same. It's not something visual that you can see within us. There is that spectrum for a reason, and people need to understand that because we have that label doesn't mean we don't have intellect, and doesn't mean that we don't have abilities to function as people in society. I feel that we're more often seen as a problem for that label, but not our strengths or our traits from being autistic, which actually drive us to do great things.
And what have been some of the positive or wonderful experiences that you've had?
For me, even though I was told not to, in a sense came out at school with my students. I identified that there's a number who are in sporting programs are told, you're a sped, you can't achieve anything. So I have used my strength in the fact that I have a good rapport with them. So I'm that positive light to say, hey, like many people told me once upon a time I would never achieve or amount to anything. But now I sit here as a national champion, as a coach and a player in futsal and in that community. And so that, try to aspire or make a difference for that person that's constantly told you're a problem. But forget that problem, you have great traits within you too. So it's sort of like leading by example without sitting there and saying you have to, I think.
The Prime Minister, I believe, is watching this program tonight, as are thousands of other people. In front of the rest of the Australian community, what would you like to say to the Prime Minister?
Be truly authentic. If you're going to say you're going to do something, do it. And authenticity is not just about what you believe, but what the people believe of you. And we need more people to be that person. As autistics, we don't, I take you on face value. So if you say to me the sky outside is purple, I know that it's probably not purple, but I'm going to believe it's purple because that's what you told me, until I walk outside and see difference. So it's just be upfront and honest and not pretend to be for what you think that group want. So often we are put in that box of this is what we non-autistics think autistics need. And maybe like we have identified Indigenous roles and identified other minority group roles, multiculturalism in the government sector and employment and schools and all that sort of things. I think we actually need to, instead of telling autistics what you think we need, how about you actually have a conversation with some of us and find out what we need without putting us in those boxes of what some people need, because not everybody needs what I need.
And Trudy, what would you say to the people out there watching this who are living with autism? How they can best help themselves and also the broader community understand?
There are always going to be people out there who see our traits as a negative thing and are more than happy to stomp on you and tear you down because you are doing well. Persevere through it if you can. If you're not, know that there is a tribe out there, and that for me, finding that tribe and that place has given me power and empowered me to know that I feel belonging somewhere, because for so long I didn't belong. I didn't get diagnosed until 3 years ago. And so what I thought was me wasn't me, and all those things people were saying about me and what I was doing was wrong, was not actually wrong, is how I was coping. And all those coping mechanisms have allowed me to have the success that I have now. And what is perceived as a negative trait for an autistic, we can actually take that and put it into a mainstream setting. So we like the whole fidget spinner craze, like, you know, it was invented as a tool for people who need to fidget or can't sit still or have to have that sensory movement thing. It's a tool for us to help us concentrate and relax and be able to do or function in that environment. And as we saw with the fidget craze, it's something that non-autistic or non-ADHD kids, which I'm ADHD as well, it's not just exclusive to us. Instead of we have for so long and systemically been isolated, you have a disability, we're going to withdraw you because you have deficits here, and we're going to take you out of maths or English or, you know, and we're going to work with you over here. But there are strengths we have that can work from here in this box of exclusion into inclusion, and the fidget spinner's that. Like, how many people had a fidget spinner? And lots of non-diagnosed people were sitting there, you know, even in the corporate sector with fidgets, and look at my fidget, I have this and it does this, and look at this trick and that trick. And unfortunately that craze devalued it for us who need it. Within my setting, I've moved out of a toxic environment into a new one where I actually have a box of what I call fidgets, and I take it into my mainstream classes and all my mainstream classes, and I walk in, I have that box that's sitting there, it's enough for everyone. And I actually showed them how to use it as a tool, not as a toy. And now I actually have my mainstream students saying, "Miss, can I please use your fidgets?" So that's something that works for me in my environment, but it has power to work for people without a diagnosed disability because it's inclusive. Yeah.
And Trudy, finally, is there anything that you would like to say?
Yeah. There is a tribe out there for you. It may take a while to find. However, those who mind don't matter, but those who matter don't mind.